Hello, and welcome to the first video in a series that applies the rhetorical modeling process on a political speech. Today we'll be performing a rhetorical analysis on the line of reasoning within the speech using data analysis. The line of reasoning analysis is the first of 5 analysis steps to build a rhetorical model. So Jeff, how did the analysis go?
It went well, thanks. First, here's some background info regarding the speech. The speaker was Vivek Ramaswamy. The speech date was June 23, 2023. The purpose of the speech, this was one of his Republican presidential candidate speeches, and the audience was the Faith and Freedom Coalition, a religious conservative group. So I determined the thesis of this speech to be, "We will revive the American dream to save the nation." I leveraged Brian McNair's 4 phases of a United States political campaign as the line of reasoning. The 4 phases of a U.S. campaign are: Number 1, establish identity. Number 2, identify issues. Number 3, present policy. And number 4, connect values. I then created claims to correlate to each of these lines of reasoning to support the thesis. The results were: Number 1, establish identity equals I care about reviving the American dream. Number 2, identify issues equals we are in a national identity crisis. Number 3, present policy equals we must take action to revive the American dream. And number 4, connect values equals we will restore traditional values and ideals.
And how did you develop these claims that map to each line of reasoning?
Good question. The identify issues claim was fairly evident, as we are in a national identity crisis is a direct quote from the speech. The established identity claim of I care deeply about reviving the American dream had to be inferred from the contextual reasons and evidence provided by the speaker. Here's an argument map to show how I inferred this claim. I do think this is important to note because a speaker may not always explicitly state every claim in an argument. This is just how humans argue in reality versus a 100% logical deductive argument. I organized all the speech statements under each line of reasoning. This organization allowed me to turn the speech statements into data items for analysis. My analysis resulted in the following observations I thought were noteworthy. Number 1, there is somewhat even data distribution between the 4 lines of reasoning. I'm thinking this decently even distribution equates to a well-balanced speech. Number 2, establish identity is the smallest line of reasoning at 70%. This makes sense as he doesn't want to overspeak about himself. The few claims he makes in this line of reasoning are impactful. Number 3, identify issues is the greatest line of reasoning at 33%. I believe this is because the argument made within this line of reasoning is the most complex. It involves identifying both the decline and ascension of the nation from its current state of adolescence. And number 4, identify issues and connect values were evenly balanced at 33% versus 31%. This balance seems logical as the identify issues line of reasoning typically focuses on negative claims and connect values focuses on positive claims. One is a good counterbalance for the other.
Very insightful, Jeff. Where can our viewers find these resources you developed during your line of reasoning analysis?
I created a data dashboard so you can play around with all the data yourself to see if you find any insights of interest. I've also created a free quiz so you can test your understanding of line of reasoning. You can find all this in the blog post link that I included in the description. In my next video, I'll be performing a data analysis on the argument claims within the speech.
Remember guys to subscribe and hit the like button. Bye.